Brent Keys.
All right, appreciate it, guys. Yeah, I'll use it. Let's see. Oh. Get this thing to come up here, but like Coach said, I came here first time in 2005, first time coming to this, and when I was a GA, and come almost every year since, and sitting out there, and actually to be up here speaking right now, this is pretty damn awesome. I mean, this is one of the highlights of things I've done. This is so cool. So thanks a lot, Coach, for having me here. Like Drev said, my head coach also is a guy that wants to run the football, and that's really what everything's based off of, is running the football. And it's kind of evolved over the course of time, and really evolved last year into some things that were a little different than Alabama had done in the past. I had done some of these in the past in my career, and really what Drev touched on of the fly sweep, what we call the jet sweep. Really, 30% of our offense last year was based off of the jet sweep. Now, that doesn't mean we ran the jet sweep 30% of the time. What it means is we ran the motion with all of our other runs. So all of our core runs, inside zone, outside zone, counter schemes, they were all based off of with the jet motion, okay? So, get it up here soon. But what's that? Yeah. But with that jet motion, obviously, you have the jet motion coming. We have it coming from the front side, have it coming from the back side of the play. And all that changes really how the backers fit, how the backers slide, how the backers adjust. Extra guys coming into the box, especially when you're running it, and it ends up becoming really a 3-by-0 formation. It starts out as 2-by-2, the fast motion coming across. So really, your line has to be in tune with this. And that's what we do as a staff. Sunday night, that's the first thing I look at as a coach. I look at really how do their backers play these motions. What do they do? Do they fall back? Do they rock back? Do they sit and try to add a safety? Do they add a corner? Who's the support player coming and adding in? And that all ties in. And that all ties in really now to how we block the plays. Okay. Fortunately, we've got a center who's really smart. He's a guy that understands these things. I meet with him every day, one-on-one, to be able to go through this type of stuff. And it comes into really 3 different ways that we take these plays, that we ID these plays out. All right. Really, the advantages we see and that we found for running the jet sweep with everything or with the plays is the linebacker's eyes. And Coach Saban, anything that gives them problems on defense, right, he's going to want us to run. He's going to talk to us about it. He's going to want us to put in. And he's going to want us to look at, not only for us, but also for the defense, to let those guys be able to practice against it. But it gets the linebackers off their keys. All right, keeps the linebackers from playing downhill, whether you're running a gap scheme or you're running inside zone, and those backers are coming down and hitting A-gaps and pulling the guard off the double team. Now they're playing a little bit slower. Now they're not hammering it as hard. All right, now it allows your offensive line to stay on those doubles longer. All right, really get good vertical movement, vertical push, and they're not having to come off so quick. And then the biggest thing with this is that it screws up the secondary. The corners, the safeties, those guys that are now the support players that have to fit down in the box. All week they practice that safety coming down, fit and fit and fit. Well, that little corner doesn't want to come tackle our big-ass backs. I can tell you that right now. I mean, those guys, now all of a sudden they're up in that world. I mean, it's a totally different deal for them, okay? And you'll see that on tape here. So we're trying to find mismatches when our game planning that we can make a cover corner now have to tackle one of our running backs. All right, we make a safety have to misfit, and now we're running these with a quarterback run. And we have quarterback runs we do the same stuff with. As far as the identification goes, when we're IDing these plays out, all right, everything we do is based off 0, 1, 2, 3 zone blocking. It's based off of true gap scheme blocking, true pro style IDs with this, Mike IDs. Okay, now with it, obviously, if we have 3 ways. We talk about locking it. If we lock it, Mike's the Mike now. He's the Mike, the Will's the Will, and we're blocking those guys. I don't give a shit what else is coming, what type of motion, how they're moving. These guys are coming off on their double teams. All right, they're trying to get movement on the down guys, and wherever those backers end up, they own them, okay? All right, the Mike is the Mike. All double teams and combos go to the original declaration, and then any extra defenders off the edge, that's either going to be handled by the quarterback, the running back, because usually now the receivers aren't able to block because the receivers are going in motion. You might be running to a nub side. Okay, so now how does the quarterback handle it? Well, the quarterback handles it if he's in the running game. All right, he's got to make the guy miss. The running back, he's either got to run him over, he's got to make the guy miss, or now the quarterback in the world we're all in, at least in college, high school, ability to throw an RPO out there. Okay, so that's the other way that he has to be able to handle that. This is the preferred way to be able to go into the game plan, is be able to lock the IDs. They know who they have. There's no indecision. Okay, second way we go into a game, all right, is that we'll push it. +1 mentality, okay? Extra corner comes off the edge, star comes off the split, and on a split inside run, all right? Now we handle that. We've got to push it. We've got to make the Mike a +1. All right, that's handled by the offensive line. Now all the doubles, the combos, they move over a man, okay? Now, talking about it moving over a man, if we're running inside zone, that don't mean our ass is going and running flat and going out to the guy. We're still staying heavy on those doubles, trying to get vertical movement at the line of scrimmage, just knowing that that double team will be working to an extra guy. Now, who's responsible for that? The center and or the tackle now become responsible for knowing if that extra guy is coming off the edge, okay, or if the extra guy's fitting in the box. All right, now the tackle will be able to make our RL call to push it over one, or the center can if he sees it, if it's a guy coming down in the box. Now the third way is going into a game is track blocking, all right? Track blocking just means that we're now coming off the football. Backers want to slide. They want to adjust. They want to move back. We're staying on our tracks, and it is true blue zone blocking, and we're never turning back. We're never chasing, okay? They're going to block to spots now. If that Mike stays in the middle, he stays in the A-gap, that's who they're going to take. He rocks back. He flies out of there. All right, they're going to stay on track. They're going to stay on course, all right? Now, all the offensive linemen are now responsible for this. They're responsible for understanding track blocking when it's in. We also have now, a lot of times with some of the stuff we're doing, that the backside tackle will be in a track mentality, all right, and the other guys will be locked up. I don't know if some of you guys watched our tackle from this past year where he would just stay on and go flying down in there and not worry about the guys falling back out of the backside. A lot of that's because where he's just tracking, he's staying on it. All right, well, we're saying now that guy, because of the motion or because of the quarterback run, he's going to fall out of there, he's going to fall back. We're not going to worry about that guy. We want to be able to really hammer home on those double teams. All right, the track blocking, to me, it sounds easy. I've had the most issues with the track blocking, though. All right, really, the linemen, they start looking, they start trying to find out, oh shit, what the guy's going to do. All right, is he going to come back? Are they going to have two guys in a gap? What are they going to do? They start playing a little bit slower, all right, and then they don't always trust when you tell them. All right, most of my guys, when I'm talking about the IDs in these plays, they want to know who in the hell they're going to block. They don't like to me say, hey, we're going to track block this, and whoever comes and shows. I mean, they want to know who they're going to go block. Even if it's in a +1 mentality and they have to push it, they want to know who they're going to. They want to know who they're blocking. All right, so then they can get their hand in the dirt and they can come off the ball and really get movement on those down guys. All right, like I said, 30% of our offense this past season was based off of this jet motion, cat motion, hump motion, different words we call it. We have different terms if it's in the gun or if it's under center. All right, the top play we ran was our split inside counter play, really out of a type of blue or 11 personnel. All right, with the tight end off the ball. All right, we always want the play now going away from the cat motion, or I'm sorry, the jet motion. So here if we have, all right, we have the motion going this way. All right, we've got the jet sweep coming out to the field. All right, now we get the backers really playing hard to the field, trying to stop that. Now we have the ability to come back and run the counter play back to the split inside into the boundary. All right, so as we watch these, all right, you see the timing of the motion. All right. And now you look at the mesh point. Everything should be in sync. Everything's in sync here. And this is what we work hard on, all right, is to make sure that this is all together so that these linebackers, whether they're on a cross dog like they're on this play right here, they don't know what in the hell that's going on. They don't know if the ball's being handed off. They don't know if the running back's going to keep it, or they don't know if possibly now the running back goes wide also, and now the quarterback keeps it down in there. So I think when you see this from the end zone, you can really see these backers, even though they're on a cross dog, they shouldn't have anything but go hit it. You see 3 being slow right there because he's not really sure what's going to happen. Now you got 21 thinking he's reading out, and now they end up short a gap. All right, even with the cross dog, it allows us to get movement. All right, in that split second, the number 3 has to pause right there, has to go around. All right, and the 21's reading out with the cap motion. All right, allows us to really hammer the double team home. All right, and now there's the DB. All right, that doesn't know how to fit the play. All right, same thing now. Again, the most critical thing, and you see right here, it's not as clean as it was in the first clip of all that timing up together to really screw those linebackers' eyes up on what they're keying. All right, but you see this here. Again, the backers are thinking it's the jet sweep. All right, they're playing out wide, and now it really allows us on this deuce block really to hammer that thing home. All right, and even with OJ going wide here and screwing this up and the guard not being great on it, all right, you still see a good play able to happen there. Okay, so you see what the running back's doing with the jab step right there. If we were running the jet sweep, all right, he's doing just what he would do as being the lead blocker on the jet sweep play. Now with these on the splinter play, all right, it's almost always this play. The center knows, the lineman know that it's going to be the motion's coming the opposite side that the play is going. Okay, some of the other ones we'll get into, especially the zone schemes where it might be coming front side, it might be coming back side. We'll have tags and keys for those, and we'll have words and that'll allow the center now to know, it'll allow the lineman to know. They'll say a word that'll tell a motion, whether it's coming front side or back side, okay, that'll allow these guys now to be able to say, oh shit, now the guys are coming away from the play, they're going to the play, all right, so they know how they can hang on the doubles. But even with not blocking the play well, you see some pictures or some looks where these guys, because of the displacement, because of the open holes, because of what the motion has caused, really being able to open up seams for the offense. All right. Now, the thing I like about this, one of the hardest blocks I think to coach, one of the hardest blocks to get executed for me is this deuce block on the 2-eye right here. It's hard for this guy to be able to get a lot of power on that. All right, but with running the cap motion, the jet motion, going that way, and with the linebacker running his ass out of there, it really allows that tackle to come down now and really knock the shit out of that thing and open that play up. And to the lineman, I mean, this is normal split inside counter rules, normal rules. Again, another one to the 2-eye right here. Running back taking his jab step. All right, see the linebacker's eyes, and really we want to put the linebackers in a predicament where they cannot be right. By game plan, if we see these guys now, they start playing into the box, they start playing the splinter play, now we're just going to hand the ball off the next call on the jet sweep. That's your boy. Again, same look right here, with the tackle really being able to help out that left guard. And now we've expanded that hole, allows that running back to stay tight and stay inside the second puller here. All right, if that was just a normal play, the motion wasn't happening, all right, that linebacker or the tackle's probably going to have to come off a little bit quicker. We're not being able to expand that hole. We're not able to open it up. And running this from the offset back now, all right, that hole's not going to be near as clean for that running back to get into. Same thing from a few years ago. Just running it a little different way with an arc technique on one side. All right, and running it with the running back being the second puller as opposed to the tight end. Now the quarterback's is the runner. All the same rules apply. Another one with the quarterback, all right, versus the odd front here. And like I said, the rules do not change. But now, go to the wide view here. All right, we're running this from an unbalanced set. All right, with the X receiver now coming in motion. Okay, by game plan and looking at this, we know that there might be an extra guy down here. Okay, there might be an extra guy on the gap scheme. The corner by film study was going to hang back. So now we load the running back on the widest guy to create the extra hat for the quarterback to run. For the line, all the rules stay the same here. And again, running the gap scheme, running the splinter play, we like this a lot better when we know kind of where those backers are going to be, that they're not going to bring a corner back into the box. All right, when we get to some of the zone schemes here in a minute, all right, that's when that stuff really starts changing with the track blocking and this and that. All right, same thought right here. Just running our one back power play. All right, with the motion now. All right, same look. We can still run the jet sweep here to the right with the running back being, and all it is boss. It's wide receiver boss rules is all it is. Okay, running back's the boss blocker. All right, but now instead of handing off the boss play with the receiver, we can come back and run the one back power play. And you can see even when plays aren't blocked great. I mean, like you said earlier, Drew, 2 and 3 yard gains when you're doing this, that's a mentality. It's a mentality we're trying to create, all right, getting those guys. And you see in all these pictures, regardless of who we're playing, those linebackers very seldom, unless they have a called blitz, are flying downhill and hammering those A gaps, hammering those B gaps. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get those backers to play slow so that our linemen can lean and press and move those down linemen. A little different with the tight end split out. Same thought though. And now running back motion instead of the jet motion in front. Now we're just running the motion behind. All right, looking as if we could carry out now the true triple option fake with a running quarterback here, or throw the bubble to him. But really, for the line, everything stays the same. All right, we know on this play right here, we're not going to worry about the corner. Like I said, they're locking this. They're blocking who they have. The ID is the ID. The mic is the mic. All right, and now this corner wants to stick his nose up in there. All right, we'll give him to the running back. That's the running back's guy. Go run his ass over. Again, another one-back power play. Same thing. All right. 6-man box. All right, safety was coming down here to fit the backside B gap, turned it to a 7-man box. Now because of the back motion coming behind, all right, safety's out, allows us to really hang on the double team right here. All right, comes off late, be able to move the down guys. Same thing, same one here now, just running it with the quarterback. The same thing you're seeing is being able to hang on these double teams. Backside linebacker not knowing what to do. He's slow. And like I said, to start the presentation, all we want to do is move the down lineman. We want to get movement on the down lineman. All right. So that's really kind of the gap schemes, tight inside and split inside gap schemes that we run. All right, with the cat, or we call it cat, the jet motion. All right, it's all based off of the jet sweep, like I said. All right, now kind of moving from the gap schemes now into the zone schemes. All right, this is really the same thing you talked about earlier, Drev. Now we're handing the inside zone off. All right, the motion coming, we're running this from the pistol, no different than if we're under center, run the same exact thing. All right, now, we knew that the receiver, when the receiver went in motion, by game plan, we knew the receiver goes in motion again. We're running this out of an unbalanced formation, X off the ball, coming across. Same thing Drev was just talking about with the sweep to the field. All right, we knew this the corner was going to run. That's what they showed on by game plan. All right, we knew that their ass was going to run. All right, so we went into the game. We said we're going to lock this until they made us change it. Okay, we carry all three of those into the game, whether we're locking it, we're tracking it, all right, or have to plus it. We carry all those in our toolbox into a game. A lot of times, I mean, shit, we'll do all three of them within a game. We've done all three of them within a quarter before. I mean, those are adjustments that we're making constantly on the sideline, running the ball with all this motion. Again, like we said earlier, trying to force guys, we're trying to hang on double teams, and we're trying to force secondary players to screw up where they should be fitting.
When do you let the guy help the center? Where's that point of demarcation where the center needs help, where you don't ever get this?
By game plan. If we go in the game and we said, especially with this stuff, because you never truly know how these linebackers are going to flow and how they're going to fit. All right, some game plans we felt like the center needed some help. If that guy was going to be able to send the play back, we would say we're going to go ahead and combo it. All right, if we felt like the center had a good matchup, we would go ahead and step the guard front side, because that's a good question, because a lot of teams, when you're getting this shit and you're running it, all right, you're going to get jam stunts and ram stunts by that defensive end of that side, all right, to try to cancel the gap out and now let the corner fit off the outside. Okay, so whenever our center could handle those guys, we let him handle it, and we try to oversplit the guard a little bit. All right, create a little bit more space in there. So now if that tackle did get the stunt, you're not getting, especially with this being a true B-gap zone play, you don't want that tackle turning his ass in the hole because he's so scared of the guy running the jam stunt in. Now you can see right here. All right, we talked about we're locking this. All right, so that means their guys are their guys. All right, so you see the backside guard and tackle on the B block here. They're staying on that thing. They're not worrying about this linebacker coming back into the backside A, because that was the rule we told them. That's what we gave them. All right, if we were in a plus mentality or if we were in a track blocking mentality, the backside B block would look the exact same, but now you'd see Ross coming off on the backer here, and the front side guard would stay front side, thinking somebody's probably going to be fitting a safety or a corner, fitting into that front side B gap. All right. Okay, really similar look that we had on the splinter plays earlier. All right, tight ends obviously on the ball here. We can run an on or off. This is a play that was really good for us as a no huddle play. This is a fast ball, fast tempo play for us. All right, well, we've got the motion. We've run this a ton of different ways, but you got the fast motion coming, the cat motion. All right, and now we're looking at this on game plan, and sometimes we won't even know. Sometimes we'll play a team that hadn't seen this all year. Excuse me. So we'll wait the first series, and we might have it scripted in the first series, and we'll say, okay, let's keep our eyes on this. We've talked about it in the script. We talked about it in Friday walkthrough. We say, let's look and see how they're going to play this. All right, as soon as we see how they're going to play it, now we come to the sideline. All right, guys, we're track blocking this. We're locking this, all right, until they show us something different. All right, this is a wide zone to the split inside. This play, the wide zone with the fast motion, that became one of the harder things to really get these guys to do. A couple of things about it. It was a really, really good play for us. All right, but now with the linebackers moving, shaking, going, all right, it really kind of negates your ability to cut the backside. All right, so you can't really cut these guys now because the backers are flowing back. They're doing all sorts of things. Because of the landmark of the back on this play, for the most part, like right here, this would be in a track block mentality. I mean, you can see the backside here because it's a wide zone play and you have the guy coming, the fast motion coming with it. All right, now it allows us again, like we said, whether it's inside, outside, all we want to do is hang on these double teams, be able to get movement, all right, and have guys miss their fits. Same play again. Okay, now, you saw the first one, and like I said on this play, we go in and talk about, I don't know if we went into the game saying we're track blocking it or if we made an adjustment to track block, but at some point in this game, those guys weren't really moving. And the linemen come to the sideline, they're like, Coach, you know, these guys, they're not moving as much. All right, we don't need to be so thin on our blocks. Let's be able to get a little bit thicker on these things, even on the wide zone. They said, so can we go ahead and can we lock this now? All right. Guys from upstairs, they say the same thing. Okay, and then these guys give great feedback. They come to the sideline and then doing this stuff, I mean, you got to have great feedback from your guys on the sideline because they're the ones that feel it. They're the ones that know it. They're the ones that can say, shit, Coach, I don't know where the hell he's going to be right now. I don't know what's happening. All right, well, then sometimes we'll go back and we'll lock that thing up and say, your guy's your guy. All right, if the guy comes off the edge, that running back knows that it's his. Okay. Now you see the backside linebacker flying out of there. Not very good with the backside guard, but you see it does allow us now to be able to stay. We don't want to come back and chase that ghost. And everything you're seeing here is giving the lineman a little bit more of a chance, a little bit more of an ability, all right, to be able to block the down lineman. Same thing we all learned from the first day we started playing the game and coaching offensive line. And for everybody that played offensive line, number one thing you do is move the down guys and stop penetration. And that's our whole goal, is to be able to move the down lineman and stop penetration. All the other stuff, that really becomes up to us as coaches to be able to put them in the right position. All right, here's an inside zone. I put this one on here just to show a clip of an inside zone, really off the same motion that we were running the splinter play off. If I had to make a choice, I'd rather run a gap scheme off this stuff every single time. All right, they're a lot cleaner. The way that the guys are blocking, the tracks that they're blocking on now, all right, it's where the guys are coming, the linebackers are coming to them more. The zone game is a little bit tougher. And now you can see this here on an inside zone scheme, where normally we're running the plays I showed earlier, we're running the splinter play to the right, all right, down blocking. Well, now we're running just true inside zone from the gun, an A-gap zone play. Well, that's hard to tell these guys right here now to really come off the ball. They know they're getting a pirate. They see it. They know it. All right, but in a perfect world, I'd rather be running a splinter play right there, all right, be able to get that thing, have the tight end wrap around and get the extra blocker out on the perimeter and have the play bounce. So now you got everybody blocking inside. You got the running back, bounces it. Now he's running out there. He's got to be his own guy now. All right, another wide zone one. First game of the season. Okay, first game of the season going into, we didn't know how they were going to play it, what they were going to do. We knew what we wanted to do. All right, so we said we were going to lock it. All right, so you can see the guys here. You can see them now coming back. All right, own the guys. In a perfect world, you'd rather have a little bit different mentality going into it, because now, oh shit, the backers are going back. You're running wide zone. A little bit of a conflict for the offensive line because you've told them to lock it. Well, you know, first day you teach your wide zone play, yeah, you're going to sit down, you'll tell them angle of the back, alignment of the backers, all right, getting on your landmarks. When now you start putting this shit into it, it becomes a little dicey for those guys, all right, as far as where those backers are and what they're doing. All right, wide view here. This is what I was talking about, running it to the tight end side. All right, or to the out of a pro set, out of a 2x2 set, and the Z receiver coming in the motion now, and now you've ended up really in some form of a slot set. Well, this is what we want, okay? Teams that want to screw the safety down and play a bud technique on the edge over there, all right, that guy usually does that in practice. He knows what he's doing. All right, but if we can get this to happen, all right, and now they're all screwed up. You got a safety coming down. You got the corner there. All right. The other thing you see here, they're coming down. They're playing all this run. The thing they have not honored now is any of the play action stuff that I'll get to in a minute. We got a pretty good play action game off of all the same off of all the same action. Okay, again, I think we locked this one here. No. We're in a +1 right here in the center, doesn't see it. Left tackle has it, backside guard and tackle have it, the center comes off. All right, really not all on the same page on this here. Another inside with the motion, back to a slot look. All right, backside, we told them don't chase. We had the backside guard and tackle tracking on this. All right, working to the inside backer. Center comes off on it too. All right, end up having 2 guys on it. The guys turn free out there, and this does happen. All right, you're trying to get these guys. You're manipulating it within the game. But like I said, with my guys that I have, I want to then they understand when we're running all these things with the sliders and the motions. If you're going to turn anybody free, turn the guy free out there. Turn the guy free that does not tackle. Like that. Like I said, put it on the back. Bo will take him. All right, doing good. That was some of our zone schemes, inside and outside, with the motion, with the sliders, and some of the gap schemes with it. Now, really, to make all this complete, all right, because anybody can put it down in that box and stop your run game, regardless of what you have going. So we've had a pretty good package of play action now off of this to be able to take our shot plays. All right, and we'll carry several of these into a game all the time and really look for what they're doing. Because like I said, man, I mean, you don't always know how teams are going to react to these things, to these motions and these plays. You don't always really know. So, you know, we're going to carry several mechanisms into the game to be able to block it. We're going to carry several different play action shots depending on how they're going to support, how they're going to fit, and what they're going to do off of it. So you see here, this is just a simple 7-man protection off of inside zone with the action coming here, with the fast motion coming across. All right. Thing I like about this, you get all these guys worrying about the jet sweep, guys worrying about the running game, worried about this, worried about that, and they only end up having 3 guys rushing. Okay? And they're all downhill, they're all down low, they're not playing the deep play. And now you got a chance to get your deeper shot plays. Oops, I'm sorry. Like I said, just normal 7-man play action off our inside zone. And it's the same look you've seen several times in these pictures, whether we're running inside zone or whether we're running splinter play. Now we're on the offset back. Looks just like the other plays we've showed you. Really running 2-man routes and now the jet sweep guy, the fast motion guy, he ends up being the flat control outlet for the quarterback on all these plays. Normal race, cross-country type routes. That's what we're looking for. Now the backers don't know what to do. All right, one of them's chasing the jet. They're sitting there now because we've run the counter back the other way. All right, now we've got the play pass off of it. And again, this is we won't low hat, but at the same time, you know, we're protection first on this protection because you don't always know where these guys are going to be. It's not a true hard hat run action pass. This is more like your 7-man. Yeah, exactly. If you can get low hats, we'd like to have low hats, but we really want to sell it more with the sweep action and the token fake with the back. Yeah. And all these are timing up and looking the exact same. Running back does sneak out late here. And look at this, all the green grass to run. Because once they do see it, they turn their backs. Now these guys are rolling back, trying to trying to stop the deep routes. You get the running back in the flat. What's that? 7. Again, you've seen this formation show up a lot. This is the unbalanced formation we like to use. Seen a lot in the pistol, now under center. Everything we do in the pistol or the gun, we do under center as well. We try to stay pretty balanced. We're definitely balanced in our run pass. We're definitely balanced in our play action run game off of it as far as what we're carrying into a game. But we do have the ability, our quarterbacks and running backs, like everybody, or like I won't say everybody now, but like a lot of people, we start out under center day one, and I mean, we'll have the ability to do it all out of different backfield sets. I like this one a lot, Trev. It's like what you were talking on with the fly sweep. But now you fake the fly, you fake the inside zone. Now you got all the backers standing right here. You got a slow rush. No pressure on the quarterback. Chance to get the one-on-one deep shot plays. I do. I do change splits. I based off of two gap in fronts, kind of the runs we're doing here. Obviously, going into this game, we wanted to have some split manipulation with our inside running game. So anytime we do that, we're also going to do it the same thing in our play actions. And now that's tough to get those guys to buy into now, sitting there in 2.5-foot splits in our play actions. But if we're going to do it in the run game, we've got to be able to balance it up in the protections as well. And we get good work at it in spring and preseason because they play so much odd two gap, and we're able to manipulate those and work them all through spring and preseason. But you can see here, this isn't a true low hat play action protection. You know, it's the action that's causing the fits for those guys. This is where it's good when you go, I don't know what this team is we're playing, but when we get those guys, they want to mug all up in there and they want to get tight. They're trying to stop the run. They're trying to do everything they can to be able to, because we talked about, we're trying to hug double teams. We're trying to hang on them. We're trying to get vertical push. We're trying to move guys off the line of scrimmage. Well, teams start mugging their backers up. They want to mug those guys up and instantly pull you off your double team. All right, we get a feel they're doing that. Now we're going to come back, and now you got your play actions off of that with those guys mugging up. You don't stand much of a chance. Again, same formation we've talked about a lot in this. Unbalanced formation. You've seen a lot of different things. You've seen zone off of this. You've seen gap off of this. You've seen the play action passes off of this. And now you're a linebacker. You're trying to make unbalanced adjustments. You're trying to make fast motion adjustments. You're trying to now play the run. And then, again, we're just running our two-man flood concepts with the fast motion guy being the check down, being the flat control out to the field. Now, you see the running back hanging in most of the time. Majority of the time, we would tell him protection first because of the different things we got. But the time he did check out and leak out late back over here, again, you see all the green grass. And I think that's something that, with having a quarterback being a year older now, he'll be able to see those things a little bit better and, not being a true freshman out there anymore. It was good hitting the check down here, 8-yard gain. This is the last one, about right on time. Again, same race flood concept. All right, so that's it, guys. Appreciate your time. All right, thanks a lot.
All right, Coach. Really appreciate the opportunity to speak tonight and kind of bring it home with power here, I guess. We are a power team 100%, and I've been with Coach Bull for going on 9 years now, between North Dakota State and Wyoming. And this has been, you got that? This has been our bread and butter. We run several different types of power. But for us, you got that? For us, what we like to do is probably be power snobs a little bit. We run A-gap power. And to give you a little idea, just kind of where I'm coming from as we start this off, it's obviously a gap scheme play, and we're very true to the gap concept. Everybody is responsible for a gap rather than a man. And depending on a static or dynamic situation, we will block it a little bit differently. We have to understand that going in week to week. But whether there is movement or not movement, there are some different things, and I'm going to get into that. The play itself, point of attack is play side A to backside A. It's very simple, it's clear, it's concise. We're going to go play side A to backside A. The running back is wrong if he deviates from that. What I like about that the most probably is that our guys understand this is where the play has to go. It must go here. What must we do to make sure the play goes there? Okay, so we effectively define the point of attack for the running back. And then I'm not going to talk about the center or the backside tackle here, because I really just probably got enough time for some double teams and how we use the puller. But at the end of the day, our center knows and our backside tackle knows they could be a part of the point of attack themselves. Play side A to backside A. So, my excellent diagram there. So the offensive line fits the rules. The play side tackle has a final A/B gap defender to the backside linebacker. The play side guard has a final A gap defender to the backside linebacker. The center has a final backside A gap defender. The backside tackle is B gap to hinge and funnel whatever is wider. And our pulling guard does not have a linebacker. He is pulling to fit off whatever wants to fit off the play side tackle's ass. So this you're going to see is pretty tight. There's really no need to put any guys up in here when I did the drawing, but it simply fits. We have the final gap guy, and we are pulling to fit off of the play side tackle's ass. And I wanted to do this, our lateral combo as opposed to our vertical combo. I know everybody has a different way to double team. I've heard a lot of different things over the 20 years I've been coming to the clinic. But how we do this is we say a lateral combo for us, we're trying to create lateral displacement of the down defender. It does not always happen. But that is what we're trying to do. We're trying to take the play side A or B gap defender, put him in the backside C gap, and create that A gap running lane. We feel we handle defensive line movement a little bit better with a lateral combo, and we have to handle a lot of defensive line movement. We have to handle a lot of movement with this play. The bigger point probably here is we're going to try to limit all linebacker run through. We don't want any linebacker run through. Now we get that still. It'll show up, but we want to limit that as much as possible. And then we want to create situations where the linebackers will misfit the play. They will misfit the play. I got enough of that on film here, but we want them to be pretty eager to get out and say C-gap if we're running a C-gap power and then an A-gap power. We want them to have to misfit this play and then take advantage of spill and lever players, okay? Our vertical combo, we're going to use a vertical combo when we just simply need to keep the down defender stuck where he's at. We don't necessarily take him and move him back. We may knock him in, but whether he's an A-gap or B-gap defender, we're just going to try and keep him stuck where he's at. We know the play is going to go wider than the B-gap. It is not going to go in the A-gap, so we don't care if there's a guy sitting there in the A-gap. But we do feel how we use the guard with that. If it's a 3 technique or something in a B-gap, it's a little more difficult for us to handle that movement. And then if we're going to vertical combo, we'd actually like to promote run-through linebackers at that point. So just how we practice this a little bit. We're foot in front like everybody else, foot in front. We like to get hip to hip on this and knock this over. I don't like having their hands on shoulder pads with this. So the idea of our vertical combo, we're just going to knock the guy in and then collect it with the guard. I got one more shot of it here. Just giving you an idea of how we're working it. But the same deal here. We're going to knock them, try and collect them with the guard. We know the play is going to go outside. It's not going to go A-gap for us, and then we're going to get the tackle up and climb. Our lateral combo, and this isn't like the greatest lateral combo in the world, but the idea here is just to knock the shit out of this guy, take him down laterally as we work this and clean up the A-gap. This is one of the better shots of it here, actually. And I'll come back to this clip a little bit later, but coming down, knocking the hip, trying to take away the run through. Now they still run through here, but we're taking the 3 into the A-gap here and shutting it down that way. So that's just a good shot of just knocking it laterally is basically what we're trying to drive it. Lateral combo. So the teaching progression in a static situation, okay? First thing I'm always going to talk about with my guys is your eyes. We have to identify any indicator there's going to be any. Is there going to be movement? Is there potential for that? Is a 3 technique a little wider? Is there something off the edge? Is there creepers in the middle? We want to see that stuff. Then moving on, just talk about the tackle now. Our play side tackle is involved in this lateral double team, whether it's a 4-eye, anything in the B-gap. So from 4-eye down to a 0. 4-eye down to a 0, he is involved with that double team. All right, we don't just climb him if we got a shade nose. He's involved with it. The skate, stab, skate, ground. So this is probably a whole other clinic in itself, but our idea of movements rather than steps. So I don't know how long ago, maybe 8 years ago, I got kind of fed up with this idea of steps. Your natural gait when you're walking and you're taking a step is really falling down and catching yourself. And in my mind, I thought, shit, I don't want that happening. I don't want to take a step. This is a full body movement, okay? So we don't talk in terms of steps. We talk in terms of movement. So our first movement, anytime I'm pinning something, anytime I'm working down, is some form of, we just call it a skate, but some form of skate where I'm driving off. If I'm pinning something down here, I'm driving off my outside foot, creating position, but simply driving off and sticking the inside foot in the ground. So I'm just creating that position. Now, I used to call it an open. I didn't want it to be an open. I want to stay a little closer to the line of scrimmage. I don't want to get too deep. Now, we positive skate. We'll slight skate. We'll deep skate. We'll do all kinds of different things here. But I want them to understand it's a movement. Where are my hips? Where's my center of mass when I'm taking this movement, not this step? Okay, I want them to understand that. And as far as the stab goes, so your second step, so to speak, I'm going to take the slight skate or the skate to create some position, and my stab is my second step, getting in the ground as fast as possible. And this goes back to thinking the idea that if I take a long second step, my foot's going to be in front of my hip, and that's how you actually stop yourself. Okay, I think Coach McNally mentioned that last year at some point, but I want that stab behind their hip. So I'm going to take that skate, stab. I'm going to stick the stab in the ground because all the power from that block as I'm working down is going to come from that stab. All right? So for us, this is a decent shot of it. Now, not a great skate, but I know the stab's in the ground. It's behind his hip still. He's working the lateral combo this way, but I like this shot of the stab. And that could be a little bit long, but that stab varies. You never really know how long that has to be. With a tackle coming down to a 3 technique, it might be a little bit longer. 4-eye, it might not go at all, okay? It might pick it up and put it back down. But I want that foot behind the hip. Another shot of it here with a left tackle. And I like this. I like the idea that the skate should be a little bit slower and the stab should be violent, okay? I was just thinking a word what sounds like a violent, okay? A stab, just thrusting it into the ground. I'd like his whole foot in the ground here, but at least he's getting the foot behind his hip and he's getting it moving. Grounding is an idea for us where, some guys like this. I don't make them do it one way or the other, but I want to bring power into this. Obviously, I want to bring force into this block. So we want to skate to create that position again, but grounding was simply skating and sticking both feet in the ground. It's going to look like hopping, okay? I hear you, all right? I want to skate. I want to ground into that. This is more of a hop. He's getting a little bit air here, but I want to ground into that. We don't have to worry necessarily about movement here because a rule, if this guy's going out, I'm just continuing on anyway. So if I had to stay man on this, I wouldn't be grounding into it, but I like that. Here's another shot of him grounding this 3 technique here. I like this one a little bit better. Foot still behind the hip, and we feel like we're bringing a little bit more power to it if we do it. Now, like I said, some guys like it, some guys don't. I'm not forcing them to do it, but it is something interesting when you don't have to worry about movement. All right? Position hand and foot, power hand, elbow and foot. So here's the idea here. When we have to move somebody against their will, okay, we're not using what they're taught against them. It's not a stretch reach where this guy's got to, run with you and keep going. We have to move him against his will. We want to divide our body in half. So I tell him, if I'm going down here again, if I'm working to my left here, the left half of my body is position, the right half of my body is power. Okay? So as far as foot, we only talked about position, hand, and foot on my skate. But that tackle is working the 3 technique now. We got to kind of figure out, I'm not going to have my foot in front when I do this. Okay? So I'm going to put my position hand, really, our starting point is put it on the back of the guard. Okay? So we take the position hand, put it on the back of the guard. Our power hand, and I try not to talk hand as much, but I want the power elbow as tight to the core as possible. All right? If I can keep my elbow tight to my core as I bring it to the hip, that's what I'm looking for. I don't like to take wide, this stuff I think is crap actually. So I got to get it tight to my body where I can bring a little more force to the hip. Now, we need to strike the hip of the defender with a tackle. If it's a B-gap defender, you must strike the hip. If you're playing up in we're looking for translational force. So anything moving them through a center mass, through a center of gravity, we want that. And that's where I got guys that will want to use the hand. I'll let them play with this a little bit. I've got some guys that want to put their shoulder on it too. They want to drive their shoulder into the hip. I'm fine with anything. I don't want them on the ground, but I want them hitting the shit out of the hip. Okay? If we're hitting shoulder pads, we have to work with a lot of rotation. The guy's going to rotate, sit, make it a little bit harder to move. We're not going to move shit if we're hitting him in the shoulders anyway. So we've got to hit to the hip. The clip here, the feet aren't good, but I liked what he did here, bringing the power elbow tight to the body. You can see the hand get through here to the hip and then create some lift. And the guard has a lot to do with this also, but getting to the hip to drive that thing laterally. Shot of it here on the right side, same idea. Here you can see the hands on the back, and he's got the hand to the hip, so we create the movement that way. I know the guard's got to come off a little quicker with the linebacker stepping up backside there. But that's the idea, getting the hand to the hip with the B-gap defender. All right? Reinforcing the A-gap defender. So we're talking 2 eyes typically need a little bit more reinforcement because your guard might get stuck in a stalemate. Sometimes a 0 nose moving back at you. Anything that the tackle, it doesn't matter. We want to reinforce that A-gap defender. Now the other thing is, if it's a shade nose, or we play against a tilt from our defense, so we don't really have to give a shit about the tilt. Okay, the tilt's not coming back ever. But we still want that tackle flat and tight because we want to take away the run-through. Take away the run-through. So simply, it's not, I'll just move on to this. This is a better shot here of skate, stab to reinforce, and now our guard gets stuck in a stalemate. But we can reinforce this and then move our way up to linebacker at that point. So he's reinforcing everything or looking to reinforce everything as we go. Here's a shot with a 2-eye here, but we take the 2-eye, the A-gap defender here, we reinforce, make our way to backer, but the 2-eye actually in this shot ends up like in the backside C. So their A-gap defenders now over here, we feel like we got a shot then. And again, we don't always get movement like that, but that's nice right there, okay? I'm going to get to that, but I'll get to that in a second, but yeah. Now, I know this guy looks probably disinterested in actually sitting in the A-gap, but we move him pretty well there too. Here's a shot where the guard kind of shuts down the tackle, and I tell the tackle, I don't give a shit. You're going to reinforce the guard then, okay? We'd prefer him to see something, but you're going to reinforce the guard. So the guard gets the extra boost there, and then we can finish off the A-gap defender that way. I know the fullback kind of screws up there. Must move the down guy before thinking linebacker. I know everybody runs power. Everybody talks about that. There's no doubt in my mind that's how that has to be. If we are not going to move the down guy, we're in trouble. So the tackle sometimes does not get to linebacker. In this case, the linebacker sits in the backside for us, and we say, who gives a shit about him anyway? So we just keep moving the down guy. Right here, our guard actually falls off of, ends up slipping off the 3 technique, but so the tackle's like, well, shit, I just got to stick with this. As long as we move this, we're going back through 8 years of this, 9 years of this, we're saying, if we can move the down guy, we've got a pretty good shot. I think that's pretty much a no-brainer for anybody. But if we can get him out of the A-gap, we got a lot better shot at the play. We got, like this shot here, like the 2-eye kind of works back out a little, the guard's a little bit too flat. He's not working at it a little bit much here. but we reinforce this and create a situation where we can still get, well, we get 7 yards on this, so the back can slam it up in there still. All right. Here's what we tell the tackle now, okay? Head in front of the linebacker, make the tackle, make a choice. So when I'm climbing the linebacker, so I am flat again if I got an A-gap defender or if I'm stuck on the 3 either way. But say it's a tilt nose, something you know you're probably going to climb it. I get freshmen come in, they want to just climb to the linebacker and stick to him and pin him on the backside and say, I got this done. Well, the problem with that is now I got a big-ass tackle in the A-gap and I got a linebacker in the A-gap, okay? I want that linebacker to have to make a choice. Force him to decide. Does he step up? My head is in front of him. Does he step up? My head's in front. I'm going to knock the shit out of him that way. All right? If he doesn't want to step up and my head's in front, he can't see the plays. Like, oh shit, I got to get over the top. We will U-turn. We will stay with that guy. Okay? We will latch on and stay with him. I want him to feel like, oh shit, misfit the play. Our back can see that and make a cut backside. So, yeah, right here. This is a decent shot. Well, we got a pirate here. I think I come back to this play a little bit later, but you know, we reinforce that. But simply head in front, backer's like, shit, I got to get over the top. We're on the free hitter with the running back. Actually do a pretty nice job with the fullback and the guard in this one too. Yeah, right tackle here, reinforcing the 2I, fits the head. Backer's got to get over the top. We hit the backside A on that one. And oh yeah, I like this clip actually. So we're getting edge pressure. We're getting edge pressure from over here, and our tackle kind of gets his hip clipped a little bit, so he comes past it a little too far. I want them to be pretty tight. When you teach this, sometimes they just go flying by. I don't want to fly by. I just want your head in front of this. So this is a little bit of a flyback because he gets hit clipped. But we come back, pin the linebacker, and the running back can hit it in the backside A still. All right. With a guard, go back. I mean, yeah, make the point with the eyes. The eyes are critical again. All right, with this. What I want to talk about here is when we got a B-gap defender, never reach back to the B-gap defender. Never reach back to the B-gap defender. You're responsible for the final play side A-gap defender. I cannot turn my shoulders out to whatever I have. A loose 3, something sitting in the gap 4, I don't give a shit. But a 3 technique, I can't work back to this guy. So I've got this right here. My movement is simply going to be what we would call a settle. So I'm going to take that step. I used to teach a lot of widening. What I like now, to be quite honest, when I settle, I like to drop the foot just a touch, okay? Keep the hips square with this. Keep the hips square, but I like the foot going back a little bit because I know I'm going to come out. I don't like the, you know, if he's just going to kind of settle and sit there, I don't like that. I want them coming out. So the foot goes back, I know he's going to be going here a little bit. But the idea here is, if we do deviate from that at all, we might squeeze the hip back, but if the shoulders turn at all, the natural reaction is for the near hip to obviously work away from that double team. So that's not going to work for us. And I have 2 clips, maybe 2 clips. It's a true freshman for me. God bless him. He's high in both of these. But here's the idea. Settle, stab. Try to collect. Try to accept what the tackle brings you. Same idea here. Settle, stab. So I don't want to work back. Now, if they want to work into the tackle, you'll see a couple of those clips. If those they know what we're doing, okay? So the 3 techniques are going to work heavy back into the tackle. If there's nothing for me to feel there, I'm going to get out of it. I'm going to go to backer right now. But that's the idea for that guard. Now, skate stab versus an A-gap defender. I don't have to go over that again. But it's simply the same thing going on. Tight power elbow. And then as far as aiming point for them, I mean, the wider the guy is, the further in he is from a 2I to a 0 nose. What I like to get out of the skate is I like to close the gap. I got an A-gap. I'm ringing the A-gap. I got a guy sitting in the A-gap. I want to close the A-gap here first before I create that power. So they actually work that quite a bit more. I got a real nice shot of a right guard here. Now, I know his right arm, I think he was a true freshman in this game. I told you that, didn't I? I had 4 true freshmen in 3 years playing, so. No shit. Yeah, eventually. Skate stab. I like this stab in the ground, but he does a nice job of finishing that off and clearing up the A-gap for the back. Okay, a couple looks at grounding. So this is Chase playing guard here, but I think Chase liked the idea of grounding. We didn't get a great skate out of him, but just bringing the ground into the A-gap guy and his ability to move a guy and finish him off that way. This one might be a little bit better, and I know the nose kind of follows the center a little bit in this, but, kind of wreck shop here with the tackle in the center and everything, but definitely cleaning up the A-gap at that point. I like the guards. If the guards can ground, I think they bring more to it. If they can ground into it, I think they're going to bring more power to it, but not every kid is well, I don't like that. Okay, we're not going to worry about it too much. Position, hand and foot, power, hand and foot. Just talking about the 3 technique again really quickly for the guard's hand. Now he's settling and stabbing, settling, stabbing. We used to pry it back. We used to kind of pry or work into that. What I get a lot of shoulder grab, throwing the guard on the ground and not handling that, or trying to work out when I have to deal with the A-gap. So we'll settle stab on the stab coming out. We just go simply with a single under right now. Okay. I want the power elbow tight. So in this case, if I have a 3 technique sitting here, I'm settling to my inside, stabbing. My power elbow is tight. Yeah, in clinic terms, I'd love to grab the armpit and this area right here. But the idea is to get the hand there as the tackle's striking it and roll the elbow over and finish off with extension on this. And then as far as the A-gap guy, it's, same thing the tackle was doing. But I'll go back to Chaser doing this, and this is one of the clips I started off with on this deal, but the idea that his power elbow is really tight, which would be his left elbow in this with the settle stab, creates enough lift, and then it's really working. He's got the extension there now too, and then he's got the one hand, I guess, to help with the run-through backer. But that type of lift helping the tackle can make the tackle job obviously a lot easier there too. All right, couple final points on this for the guard. With a 2-eye, we've gone to basically saying, I don't want to shut down the tackle. I want the tackle to see something as he's coming down to reinforce. So really, their aiming point, when we're talking any inside run play, anything between the tackles, when we say aiming point, their aiming point is not for their eyes, it is for their center mass, their dick, their belly button, whatever you want to say, okay? So this is where I want your aiming point. We go right down the core of the guy, basically, is what we're trying to get to, but we're going to skate stab. We get enough reinforced by the tackle here, and we've got the gap there. We kind of script on the backside, but that's a decent job of reinforcing there. And this is another one, different angle here, but he's got something to hit, so obviously you can reinforce the 2-eye again and keep him moving out of the way. All right. Last thing, quick note, but we were talking about playing long, coach too, but I love seeing things where they finish with extension at the end of the play. I know this is not a double team in here and his hand's a little bit high, but something where we're trying to create that extension, something to take the angles out of your levers, okay, and finish off with extension. Kind of the same, a little bit of the same idea, but that's the whole thing with the finish. I want extension if I can get good extension. Get your face off that block. We got to handle that. So dynamic situations, things where there's movement, there's lots of movement. And honestly, we would prefer movement. Okay, we would prefer movement running this play. We want the defensive line moving. I want the linebacker fits to be more and more difficult, and that's more likely going to happen when the defensive line is moving and getting moved even further than they probably want to. So if I go back and talk about eyes one more time, indicators are huge. Indicators are huge. Anything off the edge. We will look at the backside edge of power all the time. What's going on out there? Okay? Is the safety coming down? Or, they're covering up the slot. Is the safety coming down? Is there something creeping in? We are all looking. It's not one guy that's saying, hey, look at this over here. Everybody's looking there. Everybody must know that. And then we will look at the inside stuff. Is the safety creeping down in the middle? Do we have linebackers creeping up? Anything like that. Now, play side edge, not worried about that. All right, but anything on the backside, anything creeping down. So pre-snap indicators are huge for us. So the tackle's rule is final B-gap defender to backside linebacker. So his standard rule, standard operating procedure, if the 3 technique loops out and doesn't want anything to do with me as I'm coming down, I'm straight to backside linebacker. Done. Okay, standard rule. If the 3 doesn't want to loop all the way outside and he wants to stick me, I'll take the stalemate. I'm obviously not going to knock the shit out of that guy, take him back to the backside C-gap, so we'll take the stalemate. Got no problem, okay? If it's an A-gap defender that is looping out, say, the 2-eye becoming a 4-eye, I'll take the stalemate again. I have no problem with a stalemate. That's his rule now, okay? For the play side guard, if the 3 technique works out, so I'm taking as I settle, the 3's working out, I stick the stab in the ground, I am flat down the line to the nose. Okay? I got a 3 over here, I got an A-gap defender over there. If I've got a tight nose, something that's a little bit tighter, the center might alert him to that, and he might not even take the settle. He might just be on the, going right now. If the A-gap defender, the 2-eye, typically the 2-eye were to loop out, I take my skate, the 2-eye loops out, I'm off of it now, I'm to the backside backer. I'm the only guy that's going to get that backside backer, I'm out of it, okay? And then the tackle will take the stalemate and the guard will fix it. So basically, diagrams. So, shot of 3 technique here first. Skate stab by the tackle, 3 doesn't want anything to do with them, head in front, do the U-turn. Obviously, you want them moving like that to get that play. Here, obviously, another 3 technique, but we got enough indicators here. I mean, this shit's going down right now, okay? So the tackle knows it. He reinforces, actually here he's reinforcing a backside shade. Guard does a good job keeping his eyes in the play side A-gap still. So we reinforce that, keep the pull tight and don't get spilled so we can get something out of that. 2 technique working out. So the 2 technique here, we're not sure if this guy wants to get all the way outside or not. If I get stuck and I'm grazing it like this and I'm unsure, stay on it. Just stay on it. Guy wanted to work the outside. In fact, even if he left here, there's nobody to go to for the tackle. We got indicators that are telling us this shit's going down. Guard's working back right now. And then the pulling guard can be the fixer. B to A. So this is just the quick shot. We did this one, but I like the settle stab because I want to accelerate the pirate movement here. I want to accelerate this off the stab. And I think we did. I mean, Gavin does a nice job just taking that and washing it down. A to B. So here's the one shot of a 2-eye. We actually didn't get a lot of this as we kind of went through the film, but our defense will give us this. So guard, I wish he could get off this a little bit quicker. And I'll talk about the pulling guard kind of fitting in there as we do this, but basically that's how we handle that 2-eye working out. This situation, backside shade, well, shit, no doubt. Everybody can see it. Something's going to happen here. So the guard takes it. Now, one thing about this play, I kept this one in here because it wasn't the greatest blocking, but the idea that the play is A-gap, okay? So we get double-edge pressure. We really don't have enough people to block all these guys if we were going to. Number 7 here coming unblocked, but he's a high player in this deal, so he's high, we're tight. Guy kind of dives and misses a little bit, and we do a good job finishing it off. Tackle ended up staying stuck and then break it out for, I think, 66-yard gain. So the play can be forgiving that way. Cross dogs, any inside move. Well, obviously, okay, shit's going down. He knows I got to go now. I got to clean up the A-gap now. I'm pretty sure this guy is potentially going this way. We could get both. It doesn't matter. He's going as hard as he can. I will tell you, with our center, we're not going to ever collect anybody with our center. We're always going to work back with him. But we told the pulling guard here, we didn't know if they were going to read out of this or not, so we just told them just find your linebacker, so we ended up doing that. They screwed up in the backfield, but we handled it well enough to get the 3 yards. One more cross dogs. Nice job. I still say head in front on this, but nice job just attacking the shit out of it. I didn't like the pulling guard. But again, movement, something that creates an open A-gap for us right away, that's what we would be looking for, okay? So that's static and dynamic situations. The puller is a fixer. All right, so our puller is a fixer on everything, okay? He fixes everything for us. Quick shot of this. This is one of these sweet double teams I was talking about here. Guard does not feel any pressure. Ends up stumbling off this. No stab by the tackle. I got trash laying in the hole. So this looks like it should be a crap play, but the guard keeping it tight, well, shit, there's something in the way. I'll just clean up the A-gap right now. And then we got guys out here misfitting the play. So we're still kind of a crap double team, but we can get 6 yards out of it. How we teach the movement for the puller. All right. So I spent about this much time teaching shuffling because typically when they get to me, they can shuffle. We used to skip out. We found out skipping out actually was too fast for us, okay? So all I tell them is, hey, you're going to clear. You're going to clear. Give yourself some depth. You can't get tripped up. It's your fault if you get tripped up, okay? And then I'm going to rip the center's ass or the play side guard's ass for giving up penetration, okay? But I want the puller to know it's his job to keep his feet, get down the line, okay? So he's going to get a little depth, get a clear pass. We never want him to turn his shoulders as he's shuffling, okay? Because we want to avoid getting spilled. If I start turning my shoulders, bad crap's going to happen that way. I tell them the tempo is not as fast as they think it is, okay? A freshman comes in, he's going to go screaming out there. He's going to be in the C gap, running to the sideline for water, something weird. It's A gap to A gap. The tempo just does not have to be that fast. And we're square. We always want to be ready to insert at any time, okay? Because there's a lot of shit we're going to be dealing with here in like 2 seconds. The eyes, critical for the puller on this. I am not looking for a linebacker when I'm pulling on this play. Flat out, okay? I am looking down the line of scrimmage. What is happening? What is happening at the point of attack, okay? What's happening with the fullback's block? If there's a fullback, if we're doing it out of 21 personnel, what's happening with a fullback's block? What's happening with the combo, okay? Is a lateral combo going to shit? Do I got to fit in there? Okay, is the combo good? Can I fit it up and lead? So he's got to see all that shit. The other thing we tell the puller is pre-snap indicators for you mean simple things like, obviously like the creepers or the edge pressure will tell you something's going to be a little bit different. But shit, I'm pulling with a 3 technique in front of me. They got a 2-eye over there. Well, the 2-eye might be there to work out, okay? Or I got the A-gap defender over here. I know the 3's over there. They haven't been moving the 3 for shit. I know what to expect, okay? Or they've been knocking the shit out of the 3. So he has to use indicators too before he goes. The other thing is now, with the fit, never work past the B-gap. That may be not as absolute as that is, but I will tell you, never get spilled is an absolute. You can never get spilled, okay? We want to take advantage of the fact that they need to spill the play. If you need to spill the play and you can't get the play spilled, it's going to be hard for a linebacker to fit the play, okay? So never get spilled. Critical deal for us. Now, situations, okay? I got about 5, and I'll be all right on time. Pulling and leading, okay? We're typically looking at a clean fit off the tackle's block. There's nothing to fix in that area where the play is supposed to hit. I want to dive my head inside. I may end up skating, but I'll get to the skate. But I want to make sure that I don't get spilled. I got a couple looks. My first look is really from practice, but this is one of the cleaner ones here. And I know this is like older stuff where Chase would kind of skip out, but you know, tackle kind of hesitates here, that's fine, but what's off the tackle? What's right off the tackle, okay? Typically, you might be pulling for this guy. Well, this guy's spilling and they're overlapping. Doesn't matter, I'm just fitting whatever fits off the tackle's ass, all right? Situation with movement here. You know, 4-eye works out, linebacker, what's off the tackle's ass? Here's the tackle, what's off the tackle's ass? Just clean it right now. Clean it right now, open up the A-gap. Another shot here. All right, I kept this one in here. Now, he's obviously not working off the tackle's ass here. We got movement going on. We're trying to fix shit. I mean, it's like Star Wars in here. But the deal here is that, and he turns his shoulders too much. I see that too, okay? But he does not go out to whatever's there. That guy's got to come to him, okay? That puller knows the ball's going in the A-gap. That guy's got to come to me. So he comes through here, he's a true freshman, comes through here, keeps his head inside, gets the job done. You know, tight end has a difficult job here. Maybe he can, maybe he can't, but still a decent play for us. I like this shot here. I think this is the right guard pulling here. He's like, no way in hell, tell me, okay? He'll throw his back. He's basically wrong arming here, okay? I'm going to get to the edge over here. This will not get spilled. We take the back to the backside. It still hit 4 yards off of this, all right? He doesn't want to get spilled. He does a decent job of that. The double bump, whether we double bump a defense, so if we're double bumping a defense, let me backtrack. Swabbing the hole, okay, we simply call double bumping, okay? So the guy that we are hitting is being blocked. We want to bump him. We want to be the extra guy that bumps him back onto the block. So if the fullback is getting the kick out but kind of losing it, I'm pulling down the line, I see that happening, I'm going to double bump that. If the let's say the 2-eye slants out, play side guard leaves it. I get to that area. I see, okay, the tackle's in a stalemate. I'm going to double bump that 4-eye, whatever that is, back onto the tackle now. Okay? I want to do that stuff. For us, simply a double bump, same foot, same shoulder is kind of how we teach it or how we say it when we teach it. I want to get same foot. So whatever's there, I'm double bumping this. I'm staying square. My power foot is my left foot as I go to the right. Double bump that using my hip, and now I can stay square and work up to linebacker off of that. So same foot, same shoulder is the terminology we use. We do practice, I put this in here just to say, we do practice the guard fitting this shit up. So maybe not a great job here with this stuff, but the guard coming in here saying, okay, the play's got to go A-gap. The play's got to go A-gap. I'm getting into A-gap right now. Okay? So here's this big son of a gun, all right? We can't move him for shit. KJ gets off it because the linebacker starts stepping up. So as the puller comes around, play side guard's vacated, pulling guard fits in where the play side guard leaves, and we can still run it down the hash, all right? Another shot here, like KJ, our right guard's KJ. Hits it, linebacker stepping up, brings him back, does a nice job of adjusting to the nose in this case. But again, same situation. This guy, we want him to be irrelevant, okay? Turn it into another double team, he becomes irrelevant, it's 5 yards on a 1st and 10. I like that, I'll take it. Tight end, we got no fullback in this one. So tight end struggling here, obviously. This is his job. He's got to block this dude as we come around. We see it, we got to double bump that. Linebacker misfits it. Chase does a good job just kind of grabbing a piece of him. All right? And then the back cuts it back off the tackles block. This one, all right, this one the back ends up falling down, but still a decent job. Tight end working there. I'd say we have enough of the tight ends block and up to our linebacker where if we're not stuttering back here, and he's a good running back, but probably should be able to hit that for a little bit more. Another shot of us not being able to move the big man, all right? But the same deal, guards off of it. And I love this clip here. If you talk about it like Mr. Irrelevant and Mr. Irrelevant, they don't matter because they're misfitting the play right now, okay? We know it's got to go in the A-gap. We fit it up there with a pulling guard, break the arm tackle for 50 yards off of that just because guys are misfitting the play, all right? And I think, yeah, okay. Here's another one, Star Wars for you. All this shit's going on here and all this shit's going on here. My tackle doesn't handle it really well. He thinks he's going to get a stalemate, so he gets stuck with it. But clean it up as best you can. Don't allow penetration. Try to flatten this shit out so we have something to hit. We're not getting deep on this pull. We make a miss in the backfield, but that's a decent job of saying, okay, a lot of shit happening here, but everybody knows what gap they have, what responsibility they have with this. I love this clip actually. There's 10 guys in the box. It's 4th and 1. We got indicators up the ass here, okay? So shit's going to go down right now. So the guard takes off right here. The tackle's in a 4-eye, or basically working a 4-eye. Fullback kind of knocks him off of this, but as Chase gets around there, and I'd say a little bit fast, just knock the shit out of that guy back onto the tackle's block, and the linebacker again misfits it. He's thinking all this shit's going to be here, right? Thinks the nose is going to be there. It's got to get out here, so the linebacker misfits it. Basically hit the A-gap for 50 yards. All right? I love that. All right? Skating. Skating is a term we use probably in a couple different ways, but simply put, if the fullback's kick out, he displaces the defensive end beyond the line of scrimmage. So I'm shuffling down the line of scrimmage, and that gets displaced, okay? The major rule for the pulling guard is you cannot block our guys. You can't block the fullback, okay? So don't attach to the fullback and try to push him. So he's displaced the defensive end beyond line of scrimmage. As I get there, I'm just going to skate around the fullback's block and now take whatever fits off of the fullback's block. There's a decent shot of a skate here where now the fullback displaces it beyond the line of scrimmage. There's no place for the guard to fit in, so he skates it. Don't get spilled. Pick your feet up or try to kick ass as a tackle, one or the other, because we should have more yards there. This one, okay, this is a little bit more difficult to see. Our tackle gets his ass whooped here, but number 50 is downhill, so the guard skates, keeps it tight, and number 7 ends up misfitting that. So I guess I'd look at that and say, well, that's not A-gap. Well, I don't give a shit. It's 40 yards, at the end of the day. But that's a good job of skating around that block. This happens quite a bit, actually. It's 3rd and 1. It's short yardage in this situation. He's feeling his way. Don't get tripped up. I got to find my way. He makes it to number 51 here as he skates. Just create a soft spot. The back's going to hit that shit hard. It's 1 yard to go. Create the soft spot. Gain 2 yards off of it. Wrapping. So wrapping's a little bit new for us. We don't make a call when we wrap the backside guard. What we do here is sometimes the play side guard, it's happened to us, the play side guard gets stuck in on that 3 technique, okay? Or something's happened where we're really moving out that 3 technique. There's a soft spot where the guard gets, and he's like, shit, something's supposed to be happening here, and it ain't happening. So he's going to insert anyway. If the guard stays on that, he's just going to wrap and immediately go to the backside linebacker. So we don't make a call for it. He just got to understand when I get over there, all right, when I get over there, if there's a big soft spot in here, I'll just take it and go to the backside linebacker on this. So he'll just exchange, and the guard will stay stuck with it. And we kind of toyed with making a call based on them doing this or that, but that becomes guesswork a little bit too much for us. So this insert is a little too fast, but it's the same idea. He goes inside of this double team. They don't do a great job at it, but he wraps it to the backside linebacker now and just brings a running back there with him. And then I think, what do we get here? Yeah, this wrap, okay, so the spill player ends up just diving inside and really trying to cut the fullback. So his eyes are, he's seeing this shit going down, but there's a huge soft spot in here. So as he hits the soft spot, he says, screw it, I'm going to take it up inside. I know he gets back here a little bit late. I mean, this isn't a linebacker. Well, yeah, it's a guy from the outside coming in. But he gets back to this late, probably adds a few more yards onto it for us. So if I'm inserting and the guard's stuck there, I'm going to wrap now. Right now, okay? And the last thing, if you get to your spot where you're pulling to and there's none of that shit works for you, just wreck shop. Just make a hole. Do something to blow shit up. 4th and one here. It's going to be a little bit of a struggle at times. The fullback striking it, they're kind of getting there at the same time as he's getting there, but just soften everything up. Soften it up, let the back hit it hard, keep the whole thing driving, first down, all right? This one, we're a little bit close to the goal line here, but I like this one too. It's kind of a crap-ass double team, but the linebacker's stepping up fast, the guard's like, shit, I got to move right now, and the tackle's getting blown up by the linebacker on the edge here. So the guard just fits it up in there, and all 4 of these guys end up fitting the play poorly, and you got the backside A still. So I love the play. We do a lot of different variations off of it, so this isn't the only thing you'd have to defend, but I love the idea of it's simple, it's clear, it's concise. You've got to run it here. So thank you very much, guys. It's been an honor.